Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1892, and today's date is June 13th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Trump Just Activated the Economic Reset. It has begun. Now, before I get started, I wanted to talk about Q and those people that have been following Q. Ever since Q first appeared, we've learned the truth behind the deep state and its attempt to undermine America and all that it stands for. I mean, look closely at the new coin. The coin comes with an envelope and a card, and it's packaged in an envelope of We the People. Go to greatawakeningcoin.com, and for this month, you can get $5 discount if you buy 2 coins. Just use X22 Report in the discount box, and you'll get these 2 coins delivered to your doorstep. And as Q always says, where we go one, we go all. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we know that Trump and the Patriots, they're going to be resetting the entire economic system. And we know that they'll be going after the central bank once everything is set up. Now, what we've been observing from Trump and the Patriots and his trade team is they have prepared the economy for the reset. And what we're watching right now, what we're seeing, is that everything is being put into place so we can move into this new economy. And the reset has already begun. It's not that we're waiting for it. He's already activated the reset. Now, let's take a look at what is really going on here. When we look at the global economy, the globalists ran the entire system. They had all their trade deals, the World Trade Organization. They were trying to push the TPP, and they were moving companies, manufacturers out of the United States. And we've known this for a very long time. Trump came into office, and he got rid of the TPP right off the bat. He wanted to get rid of NAFTA, but it would be tied up in Congress, and he decided, okay, instead of doing that right now, because that would take forever, let's renegotiate the deal and make it the best deal we can possibly make it. He also went out and he started to make new deals with different countries, bilateral trade agreements. This is the beginning stages of the reset. What is happening right now? The entire system of global trade and supply chain economics, it has entered a state of flux. Now, think about what he's doing. And this is why you hear the mainstream media, the financial pundits, the central bank system. This is why they're rallying against him, because he's taking their system and he's ripping it apart right now. And they're starting to catch on, and they're getting worried, of course, because what he's doing, I should say, is he's ripping the entire global trade system apart and replacing it with a brand new trade system. And guess what? They don't like it. The media pundits, the central bank, the financial pundits, they're starting to realize that Trump is structurally resetting the entire landscape of U.S.-China trade relationships and trade relationships with other countries. Now, this is coming out of the conservative treehouse. We read this before. What Trump has done, and he quietly has done this, he went around to all the different countries, South Korea, Vietnam, Philippines, Japan, and India and others, and he met face-to-face with all these leaders. He met Abe, he met Moon Jae-in in South Korea, he met President Duarte in Philippines, and they struck a deal. And this was his November 2017 tour of Asia. And he met directly, face-to-face, one-on-one, with the manufacturing heavyweights of Southeast Asia. He set up trade deals with all of these countries because he knew that he was going to be going after China. He had to undo everything that was put into place to have China be the manufacturing, China to be the power when the entire system imploded and everything was moved over. He needed to undo this. But before he did this, he needed to make sure that once he placed tariffs on China and China retaliated, he needed to make sure that he had other trading options. And this is why he did the Asian tour first before he went after China. So China, they're going to try to hold out as long as possible. I do believe that Xi and Trump still have some type of deal in mind that they've already made, but they're holding back right now. And again, this is all in preparation to get rid of the central bank system. But Trump, he understands that the United States needs to have new trade deals, because once we come off the petrodollar system, countries no longer are going to keep the Federal Reserve note as a reserve currency, because they used to trade those for our goods. Once that is gone, we're going to actually have to manufacture. We're actually going to have trade deals that benefit the United States. And this is exactly what Trump is doing right now. Trump knows the strength of our U.S. position is that our economy is deep and wide. The U.S. is a self-sustaining economy. Almost 80% of our international production and manufacturing is purchased within our own market. In the big picture, economic strength is an outcome of the ability of a nation, any nation, to support itself first and foremost. If nation's economy is dependent on other nations to survive, it is less strong than a nation whose economy is more independent. Now, President Trump is executing one of the most brilliant geopolitical economic resets in the history of global trade. And when you watch this, it's unbelievable what he's doing. And the reset phase has begun. And I'm talking about the reset phase of trade, because he needs to cement this first before he moves on. Now, it's fascinating that the financial pundits, the mainstream media, the central bank, they didn't see any of this coming. Remember, Trump is a businessman. He's not a politician. He understands the bottom dollar. He understands how to get things done. Remember, presidents before him, they were politicians. They never wanted to get anything done. They just made a lot of promises. They never kept any promises. And one of the best indicators of where things are going is the quote from the South China Post. The administration's Section 301 tariffs and China retaliatory tariffs will now further disrupt or even break many thousands of supply chains in both countries. This is exactly what he wants to do. He wants to break the system. It's being done on purpose. He needs to do this and reestablish new trade deals, new supply routes. This is all being done as part of the plan. And this quote by Nelson Dong is stated as if shifting breaking supply chains is a flaw in the approach. It's not. It's actually the opposite. This is a feature of the strategic reset, a specific and purposeful feature designed by Trump. Now, Trump highlights over time there will be an exodus of multinational manufacturing away from China. What are we seeing? I mean, he mentioned this many, many times before. What are we seeing right now? We're seeing exactly that. Corporations will shift their purchase agreements, manufacturing and assembly plants to Asian countries outside the investment risk zone that is now China. Why do you think he went to all these countries before him? Because he knew when they shifted, those countries were going to benefit. South Korea, Vietnam, Philippines, and the rest, Japan. Now, notice some of the nuances within Trump's tweets. Japan, Vietnam, South Korea, Philippines, and India are positioned to pick up all this business. As things go forward, China cannot sustain a long-term economic conflict with the U.S. As each day passes, the Asian alliance will see inbound investment grow as companies pull out of China and invest in these other countries. What are we seeing right now? We're seeing exactly that. United States Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer, released the following statement in the response to Trump's speech on trade between the United States and the Indo-Pacific region. He said, "The president spoke loud and clear. The era of trade compromised by massive state intervention, subsidies, closed markets, and mercantilism is ending. Free, fair, and reciprocal trade that leads to market outcomes and greater prosperity is on the horizon." President Trump understands that too many nations talk about free trade abroad, only to shield their economies behind tariff and non-tariff barriers at home. The United States will no longer allow these actions to continue, and we are willing to use our economic leverage to pursue truly fair and balanced trade. I look forward to doing as the president instructed me, and to pursue policies that will improve the lives of our workers, farmers, and ranchers. Trump, right there, with Robert Lighthizer, he is letting everyone know the day of the globalists has come to an end. Everything that you set up in the past has come to an end. We are now establishing real trade deals that benefit the United States and will benefit the other country. They're not going to be one-sided. They're not going to be in the best interest of the other country, the globalists, where they're moving everything. It's going to benefit both countries, and it's going to be a good deal. And this is going to shatter the globalist trade system. Now, Trump needs to do this first, because to move forward, he needs to make sure that trade has been cemented, that we have all the avenues to get what we need to manufacture, to trade, to import goods, and to make sure that it's balanced. Once he has this in place, and this is the foundation, he can then move to the central bank system. And we can see we're on our way, because the reset has begun with trade. The next phase is going to be the reset of the currency. And once he has trade in place, the transition is that much easier, because why? The United States will be independent, because we will now have trade deals. Countries will be purchasing from us, we'll be purchasing from them, and they're bilateral trade agreements where we're not dependent on anything else. So if one should get interrupted, we still have others. And he's doing this on purpose to transition us from this globalist central bank system to a people's system, which is fair, which is even, which benefits the people. It's balanced trade. The reset is happening. It has begun. You're watching it in real time. And you're watching the central bank, you're watching the mainstream media, you're watching the financial pundits shake in their boots, because they're starting to realize what he's really doing. I know they make fun of his tariffs. I know that they say he doesn't know what he's doing. But remember, this is part of his strategy. This is part of his strength. And they continually make fun of him until they realize, whoa, we've been bamboozled. We didn't realize he was doing this in the background. Remember, they're used to having the president who acted in a certain way, because they were instructed to act in a certain way and to do the things they always thought they were going to do, and they were controlled by the intelligence agencies. He is not. And they don't know what he's going to do. They don't know his plans. He feeds them disinformation. Look over here, not over here. And he's doing this on purpose, because he needs to set everything up, and that's exactly what is happening. The reset has begun. You're watching it. We're moving in to the next phase. Once he gets the trade deals all ironed out, we'll be moving into the next phase. That is the transition of the currency and the central bank. And the transition, they're trying to make it as smooth as possible. Yes, there's going to be bumps in the road, but he's going to try to make it as smooth as possible to transition us from this debt-ridden economy, which the central bankers created, into a people's economy, which benefits the people. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.